that it's okay. Look at obesity. Over 2/3 of Americans are overweight or obese by government standards. It's actually more common to be overweight than it is to be fit these days. Should we therefore call it normal to be overweight? Of course not. To do so would ignore the long-term health consequences of being overweight. Similarly, Hurried Woman Syndrome is associated with a lot of other illnesses, such as migraine headaches, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcers, and chronic fatigue syndrome, as well as diabetes, heart disease, and high blood pressure. Clinical research indicates that if left untreated, over 30% of women with Hurried Woman Syndrome will develop major depression. Sure, feeling this way is common, but don't be fooled. It is by no means normal. Let's start by looking at what comprises Hurried Woman Syndrome and hear what hurried women have to say about themselves. We'll then focus on whether you are experiencing this condition and what you can do about it. Profile of the Hurried Woman. The hurried woman is right in front of you. She may be your spouse, your friend, your coworker, your daughter. She might even be you. She's usually on the young side, between 25 and 55, and often has a few children. She's hurried, or harried as the British might say, by the many struggles that complicate her life. Her spouse, or perhaps lack of one, her children, and her work all tend to pull her in different directions, causing a lot of internal stress. She doesn't want to fail any of the people in her life. This constant conflict of needs, both hers and theirs, can wear down even the strongest woman and ultimately lead to the symptoms of Hurried Woman Syndrome and to major depression. Although children are a frequent source of stress for the hurried woman, they aren't required for the symptoms of the syndrome to occur. Professionals, business owners, and women in high-powered, stressful careers who are child-free also experience the syndrome. Classic symptoms. Fatigue is the most common feature of Hurried Woman Syndrome, and it's usually the first sign of it. However, a common variant is to be overly anxious instead. Many women who experience anxiety find themselves avoiding social situations or feeling fearful but can't put a finger on what they're afraid of. In fact, many hurried women are anxious about not having enough energy. It's the worst of both worlds. Almost 40% of my patients complain of fatigue at any given time, and in a recent survey of OB/GYN physicians I conducted, fatigue was the most common reason women sought help from their doctors. Most women realize that they should be tired after a long day at work or with the kids, and they expect that they will feel better after they rest. This kind of fatigue is predictable and it's temporary. If you really do feel better after resting, you probably do not have Hurried Woman Syndrome. However, the fatigue that the hurried woman feels is pervasive. It's hard to shake and it doesn't ease up much, even after a good night's rest or a 3-day weekend. As the tiredness builds into an obvious lack of energy, the hurried woman begins losing her desire to participate in life. Things that were previously fun or interesting are no longer perceived that way, and what was once an enjoyable activity may now be almost dreaded. Certainly, other medical conditions such as anemia or an underactive thyroid can produce these same symptoms. Moodiness. It's sometimes difficult to separate low mood or moodiness from fatigue. When there's no energy left, your mood tends to drop, and you often become irritable or disagreeable. If you feel constant pressure to perform yet have to struggle against tiredness to get the job done, this aggravation can spill out as being down or moody. It's an inevitable consequence of fatigue. Sadly, it also produces a lot of hurt feelings and guilt, which only serve to worsen the problem. It's a vicious cycle. One of my patients described the moodiness of Hurried Woman Syndrome as PMS that lasts all month long, while another described it as that rainy day feeling that stays with you like a dark cloud, even when the sun's shining. Sometimes the down feeling can dull your ability to think straight and juggle all the details in your busy schedule.